Let's see if we can not get canceled again this time.
We won't cancel this.
Welcome back to the Pantless Podcast. Here's our hosts, Austin and Travis. Take it away, guys. Gosh, I couldn't get through that today.
That's fine.
That pre-recording just stumbled again. You know how pre-recording things can be. What's going on, sir?
Wait. Are we on air?
Oh,
Yeah!
Nice.
My wife got me that for Christmas. When I light it up, it goes invisible for you. But I'm gonna keep it.
I can see it though.
Yeah, and then yeah, we're on air. Oh, what's up, man?
Not much.
We haven't done this since Christmas, have we?
No, well, that was a week ago. Well, it was over a week ago since last time we were on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything
Oh,
good to
crazy.
eat?
Man, we've had lots of good to eat. What did you just text me? Ooh, that looks delicious.
That's what I had.
Is that bangers and mash? What is this?
No. That's what I like to call fat people food.
I like fat people food. Give me some.
We only eat that about twice a year because it is absolutely the most unhealthy food you can eat. That is biscuits and chocolate gravy.
Biscuits and chocolate gravy?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I want some.
Have you never had it before?
No. It sounds divine.
Oh, it is. My mom makes it because she takes what she calls I just lost the name of the biscuits, but they're those just the cheapest hockey puck biscuits you can buy.
Okay.
They're just the cheap biscuits, and she makes a whole sheet pan of them. And you take the biscuits and you crack them in half. Butter on the biscuits. And then you take not the instant pudding, but you take like the stovetop pudding, and you cook it in a pan, like you would cook pudding, or like you'd make pudding on the stove. But while it's still hot, you just ladle it over the top of them buttered biscuits, and eat it like biscuit and gravy.
Yes, that's a great idea. I'm gonna have to try that.
It's something I've ate. My mom's made it my whole life.
I'll have to try that. I'll try that next year.
She messaged me earlier in the week. She's like, "Hey, if I make biscuits chocolate gravy Wednesday, you come over and eat it." I'm like, "You can't stop me from coming over now."
Oh goodness, that's
awesome. The whole family likes it. Some of my kids kind of don't, but yeah, it is absolutely unhealthy. And the bonus is after you're done, whatever chocolate gravy you have left, when it cools down, it thickens up, and you have chocolate pudding.
Nice.
Because that's how you make the chocolate pudding anyway. You just skip an ingredient. You just skip a step. You just don't let it cool first. You just put it on biscuits.
I love it. That's brilliant.
So many people I talk to either think it's absolutely gross, or they're like you, that it sounds great, but it's never had it. I'm like, I don't know how you grew up in this part of the country and never ate that.
I've never even heard of it. I've never. But yeah, bucket list now. Bucket list.
And
I'll make some and take a picture of it and.
Yeah. You don't have to do the cheap. You don't have to do the cheap biscuits. That's just how my family. That's how my mom does it.
Who knows? I'll just find biscuits. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know any better.
Put them on biscuit, but you got to do the butter.
Yeah,
that's how my grandpa did it when he made it. So that's just natural. That's how I do it. I just a little bit of butter on each biscuit, and then when you put that gravy over the top, the hot chocolate, it just melts the butter and just kind of you just see like little butter swirls in your chocolate. Last night I made chili cheese tater tots in the oven with Velveeta cheese. I mean, it's just unhealthy this week.
it's holiday week. This is the week where you go crazy.
A normal if I was, I'm setting myself up to gain all this weight right before the new year, and I make a resolution and be a healthier person next year. But I'm not going to do that second part of it because I'm bad with New Year's resolutions. I don't even do them.
Goodness. Speaking of resolutions, I don't know if you've been following the NFL standings, but we made some predictions several weeks ago on where our teams would land.
We did, didn't we?
I hope my prediction doesn't come true. Because if my prediction were to come true, that means the Cowboys lose to Washington this week. I predicted they're going to be 12-5.
We play next week.
Yeah, because that's right. Next week. But I predicted we'd be 12-5, and right now we're 12-4. So in order for my prediction to be correct, the Cowboys have to lose to Washington, and I hope that doesn't happen.
So if Washington gets Cleveland this weekend, and Washington should handle Cleveland. If Carson Wentz, he's starting. Not excited about that, but also I'm excited about that. Mixed opinions. Cleveland's not good right now. So Washington should clear Cleveland, and then we make playoffs. I don't know if we're a lock, but I think we have to beat Dallas. We have to win out to make playoffs, I believe. But Dallas is locked in with their win over Tennessee.
Right, and no matter what happens, they could lose. Like, next week against Washington, doesn't matter. So Washington might end up winning that because Dallas might rest all their starters. We're not going to risk them getting hurt.
Yes, and they need Dak to be healthy in the playoffs so he can throw 7 interceptions in the first game.
He does throw a lot of picks, man. Holy cow.
Did you... I had it on, but I really wasn't paying attention to that game last night. I felt like they fell asleep and won that game. Tennessee is that bad. Dak threw 2 picks and had a fumble, lost a fumble. And they still beat Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee had their third string quarterback playing too.
They've lost 5. They were like the number 2 team in the AFC before going on a 5-game losing streak, and now they're going to miss playoffs.
Well, maybe. Last night made 6 games. If they beat Jacksonville, they can make the playoffs.
So, going into this week, they were tied for the division. Jacksonville has the tiebreaker over them. So if they tie, if they have the same record, Jacksonville wins the division. Tennessee's out. So with Tennessee losing last night, if Jacksonville beats, who's Jacksonville play tonight? Play tomorrow, Sunday, whatever day it is. Jacksonville has. So if Jacksonville wins, Jacksonville is in no matter what.
Yes, I think that is correct.
But if Jacksonville loses, then it's the winner of Week 18 goes to the playoffs. Because Tennessee lost this one.
Well, how do they... Who does Jacksonville play? I think if they play... They have to play somebody in their division, I think.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they go to Houston.
Oh, that's right. But...
If you want to go to Houston on Sunday and watch an NFL game for $18?
Not really? No? Hey, the Orange Bowl's playing right now.
Right?
I think I heard a rumor about that.
Yeah.
That's not a playoff game, is it?
No. It's 2 teams that
could have made the playoffs.
But South Carolina, a terrible Gamecocks team, beat both of them and eliminated both of them from playoffs. If they didn't beat them,
yeah.
So a lot of people are calling this the eliminated by Gamecocks Bowl.
Nice.
Because that is the situation with both of these teams.
Hey, you've got 2 orange teams playing in the Orange Bowl.
Wow. That's true.
There's a lot of meta in this game.
This is crazy.
Like, that's a lot of orange to be on the field.
Right?
And the field to be orange.
Oh my gosh.
Like, when does the playoffs start? That's like
tomorrow, I think, maybe.
Is it? Is that why they're not doing Saturday NFL games? Is it because college is back?
Maybe.
I know that a lot of bowl games are on New Year's Day.
Right.
If you make a New Year's Day bowl, you've done something.
There's actually... How weird, there's not a New Year's Day bowl this year.
Really? Or is
Yeah,
it
that
the
is...
New Year's bowl? Is it like the second and
No, I thought it was... No, it's been January 1st. Like, I remember the Sugar Bowl being on January 1st.
Like the big ones. Like, it used to be like the BCS bowls always played on like the 1st and the 2nd.
Yeah, but tomorrow are the 2 playoff games.
Yeah.
And then Monday the 2nd are a bunch of, like, the Rose Bowls there. That's a thing. Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Cotton Bowl. Those are all on the 2nd. Championships on the 9th.
That's such a far out. Like, why? I never understood why they do that.
I don't know.
Ever since I've done the playoff.
I don't have ESPN, and all of the playoff games are on ESPN.
Like, why would you do the first 2 games in the playoffs and then wait almost 3 weeks, 2 weeks for the championship game? Why make these teams wait 2 weeks to play the champ? Why not do it the next week?
No one knows.
It's almost like it makes for bad football. I don't get it. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I probably won't watch them because I'll forget they exist.
I won't watch them because I don't have ESPN.
Well, that's...
Oh, wait, no. I'm going to my in-laws tomorrow, so they have ESPN. I'll probably watch it. Look at that, yeah.
Steal it from them. Hey, you got any breaking news?
But I do have some sad breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that little kid from way back in the early YouTube days that had that weird syndrome that can't even pronounce, but he would lip sync to songs? He had glasses and he was kind of had like buck teeth and he would just lip sync and he was like viral. Do you remember him?
No.
Keenan Cahill or something like that?
No.
You would know him if you saw his face.
Probably.
He was like, he would sing Katy Perry songs and anyway, he passed away. He had open heart surgery 2 weeks ago and there were some complications and he passed away. Sad. He was a thing. He was one of the first like huge viral stars, I think.
Keenan Cahill?
Yeah.
He was only 27.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. He's a little kid, isn't he?
He used to be, not anymore.
Huh. Why does he look? We'll talk more about that later, because he looks familiar, but that's not who he is. Okay, that sucks. Well, thank you for bringing it down. Appreciate it.
My bad. Can you do anything to lift us up?
No, because the next thing I was going to talk about was going to bring it down as well.
So yeah, sorry for bringing us down. Are you going to bring us up?
No. I was listening to some Spotify the other day, and a song popped on my... Spotify likes to do this stupid thing. I hate Spotify with every fiber of my being, but right now it's the only thing I got to listen to music on because Amazon Prime Music sucks even worse. But
Okay.
I listen to my Creed playlist because I like listening to old school Creed, and
Yeah.
it'll sometimes kick on some random stuff. It'll throw in some random stuff that I can never. I just drew a blank on what it does, but it'll throw in some like early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s like rock stuff, and it brought up probably one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs that I hadn't heard in a long time.
Nice.
That's a song that will make you cry.
Ooh.
So, have you ever heard Pearl Jam's Last Kiss?
I don't think so.
You should listen to it one of these days. Not now, because we don't need tears in your eyes.
Oh gosh. Okay.
It's one of those weird. It's actually they didn't write the song. Wayne Cochran was the original writer of the song in 1961, and then they covered it, and it was actually number 2 greatest cover song of all time.
Oh wow!
At one point, their cover of it, and that original was like one of my mom's favorite songs. Like she loved that song, and like Pearl Jam did a really good version of it, but it's a sad song. Sad song.
You'll have to text me because I'm gonna forget.
Yeah.
Once we get through our movie and talk about next week's movie, I'm gonna forget all about sad Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
If I could be me to a kiss from a rose, yeah.
I will admit I don't know what that was, but I love me some Pearl Jam.
That was my imitation of Pearl Jam singing Seal's "Kiss from a Rose."
Oh, okay. Hey, I heard another obscure. I consider them obscure because I haven't heard about this band in years. It just randomized some red jumpsuit apparatus. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah. Oh, I love me some red jumpsuit apparatus.
I'm like, I'm sitting here listening to some music, and I'm like, what is this song? And I kick over. I'm like, this song sounds familiar. I'm like, wow, I haven't seen that name come across anything in years.
Yeah. I actually, Red Jump, they're one of the bands that I still listen to pretty regularly, actually.
Really? I only know one song from them. I never really dove into their...
Is it the Do You Feel Like a Man When You Push Her Around? That one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
another
some good stuff. They've got one, I think it's called they've got Justify, they've got Cat and Mouse, they've got some like that, like you almost can't not cry when you listen to them.
Ooh, I hate those songs,
like
but I love
Face
them
Down.
so much. Yeah,
Face Down that's one of those. That's a tough song, but it's a banger, and you're just like, yeah. But they've got a couple other ones. You're just like,
catchy.
Oh gosh.
It's catchy, but then you listen to the lyric, you really start paying attention to the lyrics, and you're going, "Oh, I'm a bad person." I'm uncomfortable.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of like that Nickelback song where, have you heard that one where it's like, you're drunk again, it's time to fight?
Oh, yeah.
That's basically a woman who gets abused and then she, like, kills the guy that beats her. No?
No, I know what song that is. I was reading something.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's kind of like that.
So, yeah, that randomized deal brought up some old, because I don't like Nickelback. Like their newer stuff, kind of like when they started singing about just stupid stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
But their early stuff, like their first 2 albums, was pretty good.
Yeah.
But they changed their sound. They went to more of like a pop rock kind of
Right.
They started going on what was popular instead of like sticking to their guns.
Yeah, they. I wonder if they just started feeling the pressure of everybody hating them. So.
And then just dove into it.
Like, well, let's make them hate us more.
Yeah. You're telling me they hate what we're doing? Double down. Do some more of it. What else can they hate us for? If they're... You know what? Bad publicity is still publicity.
That's right.
They're
Some might say there's no such thing as bad publicity.
That's probably where I was going with that.
I wish we had bad publicity. Wouldn't that be awesome? We've got to do something.
Hey, you can't be irrelevant if people are still talking about you, whether good or bad. Relevancy means they're... So if they're just trashing you, you're still talking about us.
We've got to find that sweet spot where, like, enough people will hate it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, I don't want to, like, sacrifice a goat on YouTube, you know. But
wait, what?
you know, but I want to do something that'll...
I was ready for it. I got one back here.
No, I told you. Did you not get my text? I said we're not doing the goat
we're not
thing.
doing the goat. Not doing that to a goat. Okay.
Yeah. So, but we got to find something. We got to find something that'll get people talking. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I want CNN to be like, and 2 unknown YouTube people.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, you know. I mean, our 30-something subscribers, they know who we are.
Do you even know how many subscribers we have?
I don't.
Good job. I think we jumped to 38.
Really? Nice.
I think the person that got you that slick shirt. No,
yeah.
we're still at 37.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Maybe we lost somebody.
I won't say we were at 37 and we went back down to 36 and then we came up. Somebody's watching our stuff.
Yeah. We need to do, like, I've seen some people, like, they'll post a little, like, screenshot. Like, they're like, hey, we're almost at 1 million. Come on. Maybe we can be like, hey, we're almost at 40. Come on. Get in on the ground floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of ground floor, we watched a movie.
We did watch a movie.
Retro Movies.
We're flying through this episode, and I was trying to, like, filler and trying to drag it on so that we're not just recording. This isn't, like, the shortest podcast in our career.
It's not that bad.
We watched Willow.
We've got stuff to do, sir. Like, we have to fight Cinderace.
Yeah, we did.
And I want to do that before midnight because I want to have another opportunity.
That's fair.
To do another one.
So, I was pulling Willow up, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out why it was so widely hated on Metacritic. Then I realized I had the new series up. Probably the lowest user score I have ever seen on Metacritic was like,
what is it?
Really hated? It was like 1.7.
Wow.
It was like 40 users. It said widely disliked.
Oh. You watched it? Is it good?
I've watched the first 3 episodes, and I probably wouldn't give it as good of a review as I would have liked to.
Oh, how sad. Okay.
It's slow. Like,
which is the exact opposite of the movie. Like, to me, the movie was a very long movie.
Yeah.
But it just, like, went bam, 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 bam.
Oh, it felt like it was over before it started.
There was just so much, everything happened. You didn't even get, like, there wasn't any character building for any of the characters. Like, you're just like, oh, he has kids. Oh, but now he's thrust into here's the elder. Oh, now the elder's gone, and then here's this guy. And, oh, this guy's gone. And then even Val Kilmer, like, they just threw him in, and then there wasn't any development. You thought he was going to be a bad guy, but then immediately he was a good guy. And then immediately falls in love. But then he immediately falls in love with the antagonist, who immediately falls in love with him, and then immediately goes to their side. and somehow like all this stuff keeps happening and there's no build up, but it takes 2 hours to do. I'm just like the movie was still going. I'm just like, how is this movie still going? How long is this movie?
Ends.
And then it just ends. Yeah. Yeah, we don't see anything. There's no...
Yeah, they set this up like it should have been like a trilogy kind of movie, or like a second one should have been made pretty quick after this. Because they build up the whole movie about the importance of this girl.
Yep.
The importance of this baby. She's going to do all this stuff. Well, they defeat the lady, but then Willow leaves, and then you don't see anybody else again until episode 1 of the series.
And now do we get the baby as an adult?
Watch the series. I don't want to really ruin it. But it happens, it's like 20 years later.
Okay.
Because it can't be like the Star Wars thing where they did like it's been 34 years since we made the last Star Wars movie. So in the storyline, we're going to go 30 some years in the future. No, this is because the main, like the main girl, she's like in her early 20s. There's no way they could fake it to where she's in her 30s or 40s.
Right.
This movie came out in 88, so what was that, like 35 years ago? And she was a baby, so, 35 years. No. Because they were saying that most of the actors and actresses in the news show weren't born when the original Willow was released. So... They're like, when they were cast, they're like, we don't know what this movie is. So, truly, you like the movie?
I did. I really did.
It's a good movie.
I liked it. Yeah, it was jam-packed. There really wasn't, like I said, it was a very long movie, but there wasn't any dragging out of anything. Nothing was just like, oh, this is such a boring scene. It was just...
I had a weird thought as this movie was kind of ending, and the end scene where he's coming back to the village of the people. There's not, like, if you took Lord of the Rings and you replaced the ring with a baby, would have, and only shortened it down to one movie. Does this not feel like Lord of the Rings a little bit?
I can see that, yeah. Yeah, a little bit,
Lord of the Rings feel to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But instead of using special effects to make the hobbits look shorter, they used short people.
Yeah, a lot. That was impressive.
All of them?
It could have been.
Every one of them you find in Hollywood?
How terrible, though, were the graphics for the brownies?
Hilarious.
That was just
adds
awful.
That makes the movie
awful. And what was bad was they had the brownies like superimposed in scenes that it was only brownies. It was like you could have used a regular camera set for this. You didn't have to have that terrible like throw him on front of a green screen when it's just you guys. This is awful.
But that's the movie though.
It was so awful. But other than that, like.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was also the other green screen moment whenever the troll drops in the water and turns into the two-headed monster.
Yeah.
And Val Kilmer is standing in front of it. You could tell when he's standing there, like being attacked by the troops. You could actually see where the movie transitions from him standing at the castle to him standing in front of a green screen, because it almost like the background kind of shimmers for a minute. And then
I missed
pops
that.
off the screen a little bit. Like
I missed that.
You actually see him pull away from the environment, and then it comes up behind him, and you're like, "That's the transition." He went to a green. Like it's almost like they were like, "Oh crap, we got to edit this," and they just.
And I got from Val Kilmer, I got a lot of like Jack Sparrow vibes.
A little bit.
He had that going for him. I could see Johnny Depp playing that character, but then I'd be like, oh, he's just doing Jack Sparrow.
One of my favorite scenes is when he finally gets a sword in his hand in that ice area, and Willow's like, "You are the greatest swordsman," and he like turns around, and he's like, "Ha!" And then he just slips on the ice and falls. I laugh at that every time. It's like, "Told you, ha ha ha!" And then just absolutely just eats it on the ice, and you're like, "You're something else."
Yeah. Yeah, and then he had that scene where he rolled and turned into that giant ice snow cylinder. Yeah. I'm like, that was super cheesy.
That felt like
unnecessary.
The comedy in this movie is non-existent, but also like
it was totally there too.
Yeah, like in
like the brownies. That guy, that one brownie with like the outrageous French accent. He is somebody famous, I think. I've seen him before.
Who played the brownies?
But I was expecting him to start hitting his head. We are brownies with our outrageous French accents.
You talk about the bald one, and you find out the one that's bald at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're... I can't remember who played the brownies. Bummer looks rough.
I don't know.
I think that's Kevin Pollak is one of the brownies. That's Rule. I don't remember the names of the two brownies.
I don't know. It's fine. Everything's fine.
But I will say most of the cast from this movie actually returns to the series.
Nice.
I know Willow's wife isn't, and his son isn't.
How sad.
But they don't say what... They imply that they're not alive, but I don't think they really... I need to go back and watch it again. The daughter is...
The daughter is alive?
She's in it. But let's get to Metacritic. So...
Yeah, go to
out of
Metacritic.
100, 12 critics out of 100.
12? Only 12 critics have reviewed this movie?
Yeah.
I don't think they gave it a very good score. I'm going to say a 53.
You're actually pretty close. 47.
Oh my. Okay.
52 users out of 10. So this movie wasn't widely reviewed.
Yeah. So the critics gave it a 47. I think the users gave it a 66. I mean 6.6.
You were actually fairly close. I gave it a 7.6. You went high on one and low on the other.
Yeah. So what did a few of these guys, what did they have to say? Did they have to bash the cheesy graphics?
From the critics, you had 2 positives, 9 mixed, 2 positive, 9 mixed, 1 negative. Users, you had 43 positive, 8 mixed, 1 negative. The Chicago Sun-Times gave it 63. Its pacing is too deliberate, and it doesn't have a light heart.
A light heart?
That's revealed in the handling of some of the characters named the Brownies, represented by a couple of men who are about 9 inches tall and fight all the time. Maybe Lucas thought these guys would work like R2-D2 and C-3PO did in Star Wars, but they have no depth, no personalities, no dimension. They're simply an irritant at the edge of the frame.
Oh, that's
kind of accurate. The Miami Herald gave it a 63. It's fluffy stuff, lovingly made and instantly forgettable.
Okay.
If you're gonna only write 5 words, don't even put a review in. Empire gave it a 60. Willow is not without its charms. The effects are more than special. The set pieces suitably epic, but it's just doesn't fill the promise of certain other fantasy films. Well, let's see here. The Washington Post gave it a 30. Producer for life, George Lucas puts his awesome creative machinery to work in Willow. A would-be adventure of little people, big people, good guys and bad. But the fantasy wheels grind to a halt, bogged down in Lucas's flat, derivative story, and not helped in the least by director Ron Howard's clumsy steering.
Rough.
So, they didn't say anything about the weird 80s effects.
Maybe they were reviewed in the 80s where it was just common.
I guess. But, like, I guess because I watched this movie as a child, when I see those effects, I go, ha! I notice that those are bad, but that's just what the 80s was.
Right.
But not all 80s movies. A lot of 80s movies did green screen stuff very well. Other movies, it's almost like they were like, hey, let's make this an obvious green screen. It'll be funny. Problem is, it's not a comedy movie. It's a serious movie. So why are we doing comedy effects in a action movie? Fantasy movie? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So, Common Sense Media.
Okay.
So, Pam Gelman.
I think that's new. I don't think we've had Pam.
So, she's gonna say 9+, 4 stars.
Nice. Okay.
Magic-filled fantasy adventure has monsters, battle scenes. Can't call them monsters. It's inappropriate, Pam. Can't say
She's not talking about the little people.
Oh.
She's talking about the monsters. Gosh, you're so terrible. That could be our moment. Did you guys see that? This.
I didn't say it. She did.
Oh gosh, Pam.
God.
Pam.
Parents say out of 28 reviews, 10+, 4 stars. 11 kids say 11+, 3 stars.
Ooh, the kids didn't really like it.
I agree with the 9+, though.
Yeah, my son is 9, and he's not really into those kind of movies, but he actually just casually would stop, and I would catch him just watching it. Like, he was actually interested. I'm like, oh, that's weird. He's never interested in this kind of stuff.
There's not
but
much.
there's enough that he was like, hey, I like it.
I don't think there's really a lot in this movie that you have to fast forward or tell them to look. There's not.
The Pantless Podcast does not condone fast forwarding through movies.
They don't.
If you have to fast forward it, you shouldn't watch it.
Yep. Don't even start it with them. So, this gets a star. Stands out for diverse representations and positive messages.
Oh wow, okay.
Educational value.
Not present?
Not even clickable.
Why have it? Not everybody uses that one. Why would you use it if you can't even use it? Do like everybody else and don't even use it. Come on, Pam. You're already starting off poor. Gosh.
All right. Knowing what I said before that about the gold star.
Diverse.
Positive messages.
Positive messages.
No, it said it stands out for diverse representations and positive messages. So what do you think she gave it on positive messages?
Last time somebody did that, they gave it a 3. I'm going to give it a 4, though.
Yeah, she gave it a 4.
Okay, good. Okay.
But if it stands out, wouldn't that mean it got a 5?
It should get a 5. Yeah, it should. If you think it stands out, because people have 5s.
Or some of these people think the same that I do, And that 5 is like, you don't really ever give things 5s. 5s means
Right.
it's like the best or the worst. You know, it has the most you've ever seen or the best you've ever seen. So
Right.
if it stands out, that could
Right.
give it a 5 because it stands out. But at the same time,
like, does it not stand out enough? It just doesn't. It stands out, but not enough.
it's just not backing down a little bit. Positive message about love, family, the power of good over evil, sacrifice for the greater good, and the dangers of judging a book by its cover. Willow's journey also underscores the value of perseverance and the struggle for good and doing the right thing in the face of great odds.
Okay. Fair.
All right. Positive role models.
I could give it a 4 again.
You could. She gives it a 3.
Oh, okay.
Willow demonstrates courage, integrity, perseverance, and teamwork. Mad Mardigan, spelled as one word. I think that's actually not one word, but could be. I always thought it was Mad Mardigan. Is flawed and makes mistakes, but is loyal and brave when it counts. Sorsha, weird name, has conflicting loyalties, but ultimately makes the right choice. Sorsha.
Yeah. I agree. I think all of those things warrant it having a 4. But
Yeah. I mean, you are
Okay.
you are allowed to have your opinion, sir.
yeah, see, I would have given it a 4 and said the exact same thing.
Yeah,
We would have just. Okay.
All right. Diverse representations.
I did see people of color. There were little people. There were lots of women in powerful roles.
It stands out. It stands out.
There were, man, I don't know. This could be a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5. With all of the little people, that has to account for something. And the women in power, like both the most powerful characters were both women. Sorsha was a strong character, and then you had, I don't know. I could see a 5, but 4 is fair. Let it go.
4
There were lots of
stands out.
Most of the people were white. So.
Stands out. 4.
Okay.
Stands out, not up. Cast is almost all white, but the film stands out for its inclusion of little people who rarely get such 3-dimensional roles.
What does that mean?
I don't. I guess they're mainly only in 2-dimensional. They only get 2 dimensions. Don't really. While it does fall into the cliche of having actors with dwarfism appear in a fantasy setting, Warwick Davis's Willow is a main character, a hero with doubts and fears, yet incredible inner strength. He has a loving wife and kids, and the entire community of Nelwyns is cast with short-statured actors, which avoids tokenizing
Ooh.
Lord of the Rings any one actor with dwarfism. From a gender standpoint, men like Willow and Mad Mardigan may be the main heroes, but female characters include Baby Elora, Warrior Sorsha, Wise Elder Roselle, who was a animal most of the movie, and the villain Queen Bavmorda all have important roles. It's diverse because they had a main character that was a baby.
A real baby.
A real baby, yes.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't the only one that thought of the. I love the I've heard this term before. Tokenizing.
Did she say Tolkien or token?
It says tokenizing. I read it as Tolkien, like. 'Cause I've heard the word I've heard the phrase, like. Okay. But it means the same thing. Moving on.
And this one it does.
Violence and scariness. Wow, she wrote a novel.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
No, not present.
Yeah, not present, but here's a book. I would give it a 3. Those dogs were kind of scary.
Those dogs were awesome. All right.
And there was a lot of fighting, but there was nothing like graphically violent, and there was nothing overly scary. This is right in the middle. I give it a 3. What does she say?
Oh, I just read the last line and I'm like, you put that in the wrong category. Gave it a 4.
Okay. Interesting.
Sword fighting, hand-to-hand combat, punching, magical battles, deaths, including sympathetic characters. Oh, okay. Dead bodies on display, including decapitated heads on stakes and skeletons in cages. Scenes show innocent villagers, including children, crying and running in fear. Scary villain in a skull-like mask. He was actually pretty cool. Threats against a baby, and evil characters prepare to perform a deadly ritual on the child. Creepy imagery. A dog-like beast attacks a character. It's assumed they die, but nothing is shown. All right. This is a novel, I tell you. In a big battle, a troll turns into a gruesome 2-headed monster that thrashes a dead body between its teeth. Where in fantasy lore do trolls
Never seen that before ever.
become okay?
But it was magic. It was a troll, and then he turned it into a giant 2-headed monster.
I guess that was weird. A troll's skin peels apart to reveal a brain-like organ from which slimy tentacles with razor-sharp teeth burst out. Despite all of the above, actual blood appears in small amounts, mainly during battle scenes, which I don't really remember much blood at all, and is never gory. Sexual harassment includes a man cornering someone under cover as a woman. He gropes a false breast and lewdly asks, "Want to breed?"
That was pretty weird. That was funny, but very weird.
Like right in front of his, like he's bursting in because he's thinking his wife's cheating on him.
Yeah.
And then tries to immediately cheat on his wife.
With her cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of sex, romance, nudity. Like why did that last part have to be in that part when it could have been in
That's
this
true.
part? Like,
yeah.
Why mention it?
There really wasn't a lot. I'd probably give it a 1 just for that scene.
She gave it a 2.
Okay.
Romantic kissing. One scene hints that Mad Mardigan was involved with another man's wife. A love potion makes Mad Mardigan spout wildly romantic phrases at a woman. A man gropes at the breast of one of the lead characters who's disguised as a woman. Sexual innuendo. Character talks of how he's still got it where it counts. A drunk man corners a character and lewdly asks, "Want to breed?" Glad we got into that twice.
Yeah. Because it was scary and it was sexual.
I guess. Speaking of language.
I don't think I heard anything. Did you hear anything? I would give it not present.
Yeah, I do remember.
Unless you want to say want to breed is.
Gave it a 2.
Okay.
Peck is frequently used as a condescending term for Delwyn,
Yes.
the films.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, it's a made-up derogatory term, so it counts.
Yeah.
Like, we make it up just for this.
Jack. A.
I don't remember that.
Sorsha used it toward Mad Mardigan once. Like, one of the times he does something, she calls him something. Hell, stupid. Stupid's one. In one scene, a drunk man corners a character and literally asks, "Want to breed?"
Again?
She just
Are you serious?
and paste that all. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She's scarred, man. It made an impression.
Products and purchases.
She probably gives it a 1 because a man said wanna breed.
I was about to make that joke. You beat me there. Not present, not clickable.
Okay, good.
This was a George. I'd give it a 5 because this is a George Lucas movie, and in watching this makes you want to go buy Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Drinking, drugs, and smoking.
Ooh, there was drinking. I know that.
One of the brownies falls in beer.
Yeah. So I think that whole scene and then him being drunk for like the next 30 minutes of the movie.
The rest of the movie?
Maybe the rest, yeah. I'd give it a 2.
Okay. She gave it a 2.
Okay.
Raucous, drunken behavior in a pub, pushing and shoving, breaking glasses, near fights. I don't know why that's violence. You're in the wrong category again. A character falls into a vat of beer and then walks and speaks in a drunken manner. She says into the next scene, but for the entire rest of the movie. So, parents need to know that Willow is the beloved 1980s fantasy adventure that inspired a TV series almost 25 years later, also starring Warwick Davis. The movie stands out for its positive portrayals of little people who make up the film's fictional race of the Nelwyns. Expect lots of intense scenes of battle and conflict, some of which are lightened with humor. The evil queen yells and threatens to kill a baby, plus some scary dog-like beasts and soldiers storm a village of innocents, including kids. But no one is shown seriously hurt. Some battles result in apparent deaths. There's a little blood, but nothing is lingering, or I'm not reading all this. She just goes on and on.
So yeah, watch it. It's a good one.
It is. It's a classic.
Yeah.
Now, if you actually, and I don't want this, little people were used a lot in 80s movies. Have you seen the movie Time Bandits? I think that's the name of the movie.
No.
I think a lot of the, I want to say Warwick Davis was in that one too. I think my wife would know which one I'm talking about.
Same cast though, you think? A lot of.
Did not realize he was in that movie. Holy crap! There's a lot of good people. Is this the one? Okay. Warwick Davis is not in Time Bandits, but Time Bandits has a lot of. That's Sean Connery, John Cleese, Michael Palin. It's got a lot of the guys from Monty Python in it. Ian Holm, if you remember who he is.
I don't think so. Is that our next movie?
Kenny Baker, who was R2D2, I believe, was in it. Really good. I don't know where you can find this movie. I don't think it'd be one. Did you have an idea for a movie?
I didn't. I had not even a little bit.
Do we want to watch Time Bandits?
Let's watch Time Bandits. I think I can find it too. Yeah.
It says cool. young history buff Kevin can scarcely believe it when 6 dwarves emerge from his closet one night.
I did have that thought when he said he was going to take his farm and send him to the mines. I'm like, that's funny, because that's where the 7 dwarves work. And they're like, hi, ho! They work in the mines. So what if they're all like rejected Nelwyns who lost their farms?
Yeah.
And then they come upon Snow White and redeem themselves.
It says, former employees of the Supreme Being have purloined a map charting all of the holes in the fabric of time and are using it to steal treasures from different historical eras. Taking Kevin with them, they variously drop in on Napoleon, played by Ian Holm, which he was Ian Holm was in Fifth Element. He was the old man in Fifth Element, if you remember him. He's been in a lot of other stuff too. Robin Hood, played by John Cleese, and Sean Connery is some king that I can't pronounce. But yeah, they travel through time, stealing stuff.
Okay.
This is an old classic.
Let's try to find it.
I might have it on DVD. We did it one time. 1981.
Yeah, I'm down.
Oh, that's why he didn't look familiar from the cast, because that's the guy that plays the kid. But he's all grown up now. So. Yeah, let's watch Time Bandits. I was trying to think of what other movie. There was another movie that had little people in it quite heavily. That was an 80s movie. Because it seemed like the 80s just... There was like a span of movies that...
Gremlins?
No.
Those things were little.
Yeah, but I don't think they used little people actors and actresses in that movie. Because I don't know, I feel like there was a while there when, like, because there's like a band of them that all were in like a bunch of movies together as little. If they ever needed like a short person, they always brought in this group. I'm trying to think of the other movie I was thinking of. You know, watching these movies, it's very, very hard to not be in trouble for saying things that we're not allowed to say anymore.
Right? Yeah. The 80s had a lot of, they use a lot of language that you can't use anymore.
Can't? I don't know why.
Just say a word. Let's get on there. CIA, watch this.
Hey. So we're going to watch Time Bandit.
Yeah.
Time Bandit. And I think we're going to hop off here and try to catch ourselves a Cinder Race.
Do it. I've got to eat dinner first, but I'll text you in a little bit.
Yeah, you'll give me time to get some things ready.
Yeah.
So, bye.
Do this. Bye.
There it is.